What's up, Livebearers? Welcome to Light Tap. My name is Melissa.
And I'm Emily.
And today we are back.
We're back.
You guys, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
And we have had some changes.
Yes.
Inesperadas, pero, I really do think that some things happen for a reason.
Yes.
Actually, todas las cosas, I think,
Yeah,
happen
everything
for a
has a reason, whether we understand it or not,
Or
eventually.
we like it or not.
Yeah. Or maybe sometimes we never really will know, but
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, and so we've had some changes. As you can see, it's again Emily and I back in our
Hey.
thing. And honestly, like before anything, we like to give like a special thanks to our extra co-host de que
Extra
teníamos
co-host.
for a while, which is Anna, Jocelyn, Sam. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and being with us for the time that you were with us. But life is life and we have to life on.
Life on. I like
Entonces, estamos aquí de regreso, Emily and I. But we've had some major updates. Do we start?
Yes.
So today's episode, we don't have a topic, you guys. Vamos a hablar de la vida.
We're just
Update
gonna
you
talk,
guys.
give you a couple updates and about
Yeah.
what's been going on, and just welcome everybody back into the flow of things.
For sure. And like where we're at now and what we think that we're gonna do, because uno puede decir like y hacer planes and then Dios is like,
Nah, those
okay.
are not my plans.
For sure. So I'm gonna start with a live update, or do we should just start with the whole light tap situation?
Oh, this is a disclaimer. So I, as clumsy as I am, I don't know if y'all can tell, I'm a little squinting here and there. So if you see me looking like I'm like sleepy like this, or I'm like I can't focus, it's because I literally cannot.
Literally.
I don't have my glasses. I don't have contacts. I lost them over the weekend, but it's okay. It's okay. I can still see, as one of my friends was like, how can you even walk? I can see shapes. I can see colors if I get this close in.
So literally, Emily is blind right now.
Yes, I'm blind right now.
All that to say, you're blind.
Yes. I am totally blind. So if y'all think, damn, she must have not slept, like why she's squinting so much, it's because I can't see.
Exactly. So leave her alone. She'll be back to normal next month.
No, in like a week maybe.
But for us,
yeah.
next month. Okay. So yeah, that's a little weekend update for you.
Yes.
Let's get the elephant out of the way before anything. So light tap, right? As you heard, our intro is a little bit different. This is no longer a Vivid Said podcast. And the reason why, dun-dun-dun-dun, because we actually closed down Vivid Said.
Dun dun dun.
We are no longer making apparel for the time being.
For the time being, yeah.
Doesn't mean that we'll never do apparel again, but it just means that for this time being, we're shutting that part of the business down, and we're really just keeping the podcast. We want to focus on building a community of light bearers, donde podemos compartir los mismos pensamientos o nos podemos ayudar al uno al otro, y así entonces Vivid Said ahorita está en pausa. A legit pausa though.
But that's not to say all of that,
Yeah.
That's also, also saying that we are going to be focusing, 110% on
sure.
just this podcast, which is going to give us a lot more time, a lot more energy for us to really pour our all into the podcast, interact with you guys more, have way more podcasts recorded, and be able to put out more content.
For sure. More clips and things like that. Honestly, I think that over the years and what we started Vivid Said in 2020, and we started filming the podcast I think in like 2021. So ya llevamos 2 años of like recording episodes and stuff. At the same time as like doing the apparel, coming up with the ideas of the shirts or bomber jackets or hoodies, whatever, doing the photo shoots, trying to do as much content as we could, also with having like full-time jobs.
Yes.
and outside activities as like serving church, or like I have a whole husband and a whole child that also necesitan
volunteering, holidays, school activities,
all like, of the above. Entonces, if I'm completely honest, I think that I even shared this a lot of times here in the podcast, donde like I almost want to give up. I almost shut it down. I almost this, and then it wasn't because I didn't feel like God did not call me to this. It wasn't because or like, you know, maybe eso no es lo que Dios quería. It wasn't because of that. It was really because the bandwidth was not there. Like I don't have like no tenemos tantas manos or whatever else. Like this is not a regular business. This is not like I just show up and that's it. This is like more intentional. Like nosotros sabemos que con lo que nosotros ponemos, ya sea que con el mensaje que tenían las camisas, con el mensaje que damos aquí en el podcast, those topics that we have, the Bible verses that we bring, con lo que ponemos en nuestra social media, whether that's a caption, whether that's a story, everything had to be intentional. Y para ser intencionales, I feel like we had to really have the time to do it, pero es como que no habían las suficientemente horas. And honestly, I think I even told you when I sent you the message of like, hey, I'm shutting this down. It was like I really felt like having this side of Viviset, which was the apparel part and creating content for that, it was really hindering my relationship with God, because I felt so tired and I felt I just felt like exhausted, where I was like, no, I don't even know. I felt like let down even. Like this is not how I pictured it. And mind you, I know that things are not going to be like how I picture them. Pero todavía, it was hindering that. So I was like, no.
I think sometimes us as Christians, you know, we focus a lot of like, well, this is what I'm doing for God and I have to get it done and it has to be this certain way and it has to be in this time frame. When God's like, I just want you. Like, I appreciate what you're doing and that's great and awesome. But there's more than one way to like worship me and give me thanks and serve me. You know, I think we always, you know, a lot of us that, you know, work and we serve in our communities and we even volunteer at church, we get so wrapped up of like, I'm doing this to the Lord, I'm doing this to the Lord, that sometimes we're like, well, what intention are you doing it with? Or what is the purpose? What's the end goal? Is this more for you than it is for him? Or is this something that you're like, well, I have to do this because this is my way of like serving the Lord? And that's great. But I remember I even told you, I was like, this, just because, you know, this doesn't work out right now, it doesn't mean that it can't, or that this is the only way that you can serve God or show that you are evangelizing. There's many different ways. So I was like, don't feel like this is like a setback. This is definitely something that is a step forward in your relationship with God.
Yeah, and that's how I really had to take it. And even like talking to you, remember that message that you did send me and you were like, hey Melly, like just you alone, like serving your household, serving your husband, being there for your kid, being intentional with them, that's serving God too.
Exactly.
And it was like really like I had to put that in perspective, like dang, that she's right, and I'm not quitting everything. Like it's just one part and it's for now. It's because I want to focus. Yo siempre he tenido este problema. Vamos a hablar de los flaws again. Y Oscar siempre me dice eso. Like, yo tengo un problema y es de que... Here we go. I'm either at 0 or I'm at 100.
Yeah.
I'm never like in between these things. And so para mí es como que o no estoy ocupada at all o me pongo todo el peso.
Todo encima
Y toda la misma vez. Pero at 30... Oh, I think I'm 32. At 30...
You want to admit that online?
I'm 31. Now? Yes, I am. Loud and proud.
She's like, I'm embracing it.
Loud and proud. I'm a 31-year-old. I'm going to be 32 this year.
Not yet. Almost there.
Yeah, not yet. But I'm 31. Entonces, at my 31 years of age, I feel like como que ya apenas estoy entendiendo que I don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
in order for me to be okay with God, or for to me to feel like I am serving God,
or I'm a successful Christian.
Yes, or whatever. I can feel like, okay, si tengo tantas cosas que quiero hacer, porque todavía las quiero hacer, I can do them one at a time y hacer las cosas bien, porque también eso tengo, de que las quiero hacer todas. Y porque las quiero hacer todas, no tengo lo suficientemente tiempo para hacerlas todas bien. And so I don't want to do mediocre work.
Exactly.
I want to do like the excellent part of it. Lo que yo sí puedo. Entonces, por ahorita, vamos a hacer Light Tab.
Yes.
Entonces, that's what we're going to be focusing on ahorita. Vivid said it's still there. Pero back there. So
it's been stored away for rainy day.
Yeah, an archive.
For the right appropriate rainy day.
Yeah. So if you click on the links for Vivid Said, ya no existen. Our Instagram, we've changed it to just Light Top Podcast, because this is what we're going to be focusing on. Y si traemos algo en el futuro, it's probably going to be under this podcast. Not really much as like Vivid Said being the foundation of it. But we're excited.
We're excited to give our all to the podcast and,
for sure,
bring other hard-hitting topics that we haven't even had the chance to talk about in this podcast. Yes. Yeah. I think, I speak for both of us when we say that we're really excited to, try to bring more intentional topics to the podcast, be more open with you guys, and definitely interact with you guys more. Since we're going to be giving it our all, might as well, right?
Yeah. I'm scared. Pero yes. So that's our update. We're going to change this setup a little bit, pero es que ya no hay pictures aquí. But we'll leave our Vivid Sets apparel still there. But yeah, we're excited. So that's that update. Now, life update. Ya hablé yo mucho, so habla tú. Te toca a ti.
I don't even know. What do you want me to talk about?
Where you're at. Like, what have you been doing? Are you still working? Are you going back to school? Are you dating anyone?
No.
Are you
going on dates? I'm not dating anyone.
Okay, where are you at?
Me personally, no, I'm not dating anyone. I was going on dates. Kind of still am, not really. It's more of like, I joke about this with my friends. I always say, after being in the dating scene for so long, for a couple years now, I have realized what works for me, and I like it. And people make fun of me for it, but at the same time, they're like, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So I have this thing where it's like, I will give myself some time to rest, to focus on myself, focus on my friendships and my relationships with people, just overall, right? And then when I feel up for it, when I feel ready, when I feel like, okay, I'm ready to out there and interact with strangers. I'm open to that right now. Okay, let's do it. So I will put myself out there for a month or two. 2's already pushing it. Maybe 3 if I feel like, okay, like I click with multiple people. Let's see if one sticks.
Yeah.
If someone sticks, great. I'm already out of the dating scene. If you stick, you can talk to me on Instagram, because you're not about to get my number.
That's a rule, you guys.
Yes, that's a rule for me. I don't give out my number. You can talk to me on Instagram, and they will just ride the wave with me until either they stay or they don't. But if nobody sticks during that season, during my dating season, bye. Catch me next season, next year. So these are my playing seasons, right? After this, that's it. There's no more dating season until next year.
Yeah.
And it does really help me to like bring myself back mentally and really like detach myself from that mind aspect where I'm like, I have to find someone, I have to get into a relationship. You're not getting any younger, and being like, I'm not always looking for a partner.
Yeah.
I'm also focusing my relationship with God, my relationship with my friends, my relationship with many different people in my life, whether that be relatives, friends, church, all these different aspects in life that like when you are with someone, that kind of gets muddled, because when you're really
normal,
which is normal, but when you get infatuated with someone, or you get that affection, you get so wrapped up in that person that all you want to do is spend time with them.
Yeah.
And you kind of forget about your friends, and your friends will be there 24/7.
Yeah.
That person, will he or she be there 24/7? Will they be there
not.
for the long
Yeah.
run? Maybe so, maybe not. But that's something that like I've learned, that I'm like, this is what works for me.
Yeah.
And this is what keeps me grounded. And if that's what I have to do, then that's what I would do.
Which I think that is so smart of you, like, to have seasons, porque hasta la misma Biblia habla de seasons, right? Hay tiempo para esto, tiempo para el otro, tiempo para aquí, tiempo para allá. And so para mí es como que, like, si tú tienes seasons y tu dating también lo pones como seasons, es como que una buena idea, porque sí, como ahorita, like, te enfocas en una cosa a la vez, right? Like, you have this most of the year where you focus on your family, the closest people around you, to make sure that you continue to have the relationship and make the relationship solid, pero a la misma vez también te das tiempo para como esa parte del amor, se puede decir, donde it's like, we'll give it a chance during the season, vamos a ver qué.
And that's not to say, and that's not to say that I'm opposed to dating anyone when I'm off season, but more of like, I am not purposely going out there to find someone. If God wants to bring me someone, whether that be through a blind date or through somebody's like, hey, I have a friend, or I have a friend of a friend. No, let's not do that.
DM me first. No, do not DM me, because you'll be blocked. DM Emily.
No.
Wait, how can we do DM Light Tap? DM Light Tap if you're interested in Emily.
No.
I'll screen you, and then I'll let you know if you can DM her or not.
No, we're not allowed to do that.
Because you have to come correct.
But yeah, so even in my off season, I'm not purposely going out there looking for someone. But if God wants to put that in a friend of mine through a mentor or through just an acquaintance, and be like, hey, I have this guy, and I vet for him, I vouch for him,
but don't be vouching for some random dude.
No, neither. But like, if you're already telling me like, hey, like, this is somebody that I have confidence in, that like will not come with ill intentions, like they're purposely looking to date, are you willing to explore that?
Yeah,
definitely. But not if I'm purposely going out there and looking for it. It's more of like, if it's spontaneous, or like it's a blind date, or God sends them my way, then I'm willing to be open to explore that when I'm off season. But I'm not going out there looking for people,
for sure,
you know, and that includes making new friends too.
So ahorita estás in season or out of season?
No, I'm out of season. I'm going on days, but no.
Send your resume.
It's like yes, I am open to it, but it's such a daunting thing, because it's like you really do have to be very open and real to yourself to be like, first of all, it's easier to see your flaws through a stranger's eyes, through someone that loves you and knows you. You know all my flaws. Well, not all of them, but I know most of your flaws as well.
For sure.
But that's not to say that like you could sugarcoat things, which most of the time you don't. But you could
I'm
sugarcoat
a different
things.
person. Wait for my update.
You could sugarcoat things and be like, because I love you, I'm gonna downplay this, and a stranger will not. So that's something that you have to be very real with yourself, and not take as an insult, because this is like coming from a stranger's perspective. This is not coming from somebody that knows you well enough to be like, oh, let me coddle you. No, like, girl, you got issues.
And I'm out. You too much for me.
Either fix them, or like maybe the next person te va a aguantar tus estupideces. And that's something that you got to be real honest with yourself.
And that's the next person, not me. Bye.
Next person. So that's why it's like, you really do have to be very real with yourself and not be so much in denial, because everything from your personality to the way that you are to the person that you are will be scrutinized when you're dating.
For sure.
You know, a lot of people date through emotions, where they're just like, they date through their eyes. They're like, I like you, I'm in love with you already, let's date. And they don't take that time to get to know people. And this is everything that I have learned through dating, right? But that's where I am right now.
You're off season.
Yeah, I'm off season right now.
And then, ¿qué más?
Trust me when I say, like, everybody around me is literally just waiting for me to find my person, not the one. The one does not exist for me. I do think that I find my person. So this is not an exaggeration. This is actually downplayed.
Yeah.
Very downplayed. Yeah. You should see the other people around me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't go as hard as them. I'm like, I let you in your seasons be. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So what else? What else have you been up to, Emily?
I have when it comes to work, I have always been one to be like, I trust God. I may quit my job today and I know that he got me. Yeah. So I did that when it came to many jobs that I had. When I was working at a private school, I literally had Melissa. She was the manager. She is the manager at the office where I used to work at. Mm-hmm. She literally texted me out of nowhere and she was like, hey, I'm hiring. You have an in if you want it. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And she was like, no. She was like, get your butt over here. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'll be there. And I literally told my boss, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go take an early lunch, because I was like one of the main people that was like literally in every room. So they let me take like a longer lunch, and lo and behold, thank God, her office was literally like maybe 10 minutes away from where I worked. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I literally I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember I told Melissa, I was like, okay, I'm coming. As I'm driving, I'm literally shirt off. I'm like, okay, button down. I'm like, I don't care. Like, who's gonna be like, let me record as this girl changes? Like, nah. Like, we were literally driving. What you gonna do? Like, nah. Yeah. I didn't care. I'm not that type of person. I'm just like, it's nothing that like you can't see at a beach. So
for sure. But
I still remember, I was like, well, might as well. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Like, you ain't just gonna have a job just drop from the sky. Yeah. And then I realized every single time that I have been like switching jobs, I've always had my back covered by God. Like, I've always had, my next job has always been better than the rest. So I'm in that position now. I had told myself that in the job that I am now, when I took it, I told my boss, I give myself 2 years. If I don't continue with my studies, if I don't see that this is for me, or, you know, something in my life changes and I don't feel like this is going to be workable for me, then I'm going to move on. Yeah. You know, and it's something hard to do.
You don't want to be... there's some people that se dedica a ser nannies forever, and that's because they love that job, which you do too.
I love it.
But you're still pretty young.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of like sat with myself, you know, and I was just like, there was a lot of things that pushed me away from being a teacher. There's a lot of things that like pushed me away from being a nanny. And I love those 2 jobs, but for myself and my persona, I realized that like this is not a long-term thing for me. Yeah. So I decided that I am gonna go to realtor school. Yay! Yeah. So, and which God has a way of just having people in my life to be able to push me or even like get me to where I need to be. Yeah. You know? So I do have a lot of realtor friends. Even my own current boss was like, you need a recommendation, I got you. You need me to talk to people, I got you. You need these, I'll give you all these places where you can call, see if they're like hiring for assistants or things like that, just to give you a foot in.
Yeah. So you can get like your
she was even getting emotional. She's like, I wish if I was like a full-time like realtor, you could just be my assistant. You don't even have to leave me. And I was like, oh my God. She was like, if I did it as a full-time thing, I would literally hire you to be as my assistant. And I'm like, man, that would be great. But I'm like, that's not your main job. Yeah. She does different things. She does for the city. She's a realtor. She's like all these different moving jobs. But yeah, she was my main one. She was like, apart from my mom, she was one of the main people that always pushed me to be like, you could do more. Yeah. Like, I would, please don't leave me, but you could do more. But
yeah. It's kind of like selfish, right? Porque it's like, como que like, no, but I want to keep you. But at the same time, it's like, when you really like somebody or love somebody,
you want what's best for them.
Yeah. Even if it comes at a sacrifice for whatever it is that they're doing for you. Yeah.
And then it's crazy because, you know, I'm not only responsible for myself, I am also responsible for, you know, other people in my life. And that's a personal decision that I have made. you know, as a daughter, a niece, a sister, like all these things. I'm like, I'm gonna take it upon myself that this is something that I will do for them, because I feel like it's my job, is my responsibility. So, you know, I do have a lot of people that depend on me. You know, it may not be much, but I try to do my part. So I know that, like, not only for them, for myself and my future, you know, I do have to move forward and let some things go, whether that be old passions that I used to have that I thought could be monetary. And for some people it can be. But I'm starting to realize, all right, like, just because some things work out for some people doesn't mean that it will for me. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of life. So that's where I am right now. I'm really excited. I think we're a realtor.
Or classes?
Sometime next month, but I'm like holding off on it because depending if I like get this one job, which I think I told you already about, they could literally just pay for it. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just see if I can do this first, and if they will pay for it and I do end up getting the job, I don't have to worry about
paying for forking all that stuff.
Forking out all that cash all at once. Like, they can just do it for me.
And that's the thing that will be smarter in my opinion.
So
in my opinion.
So I kind of just, I'm not playing the waiting game, but I'm also like trying to see where God leads me, because I don't want to jump into something and not know or feel like this is something that like God is calling me to, like not realtor, but like the right job, if that makes sense. So that's where I am right now. I've always been, you know, I've always been the type, like you said, like, let me give my 100. So I'm always like, if I'm gonna be a nanny, I'm gonna go above and beyond. If I'm gonna be a receptionist, I'm gonna go above and beyond. Like, I'm gonna try to like work with you, or like try to do things that are maybe not the best. Like, it might not be the best for me, but the best for my my employer. I will go above and beyond and do more than my pay grade, which may not be the best thing for me, but for them it's great. So but I mean, it's because I'm really dedicated in my job.
But maybe it's not like the best for you, but at the same time it is the best for you, because then you create these relationships with people where, like, si en una situación como ahorita, digamos que you wouldn't go above and beyond, you would just be in your pay grade en donde estás ahorita, quizás no tuvieras el apoyo de tu boss ahorita. Donde, like, hey, tú se estás abriendo puertas because you do go above and beyond on some things. Quizás monetariamente no te lo están dando, pero de otras maneras sí. Entonces, like, why not do it?
So that's definitely something that I'm like, all right, like, I know that things happen for a reason, and you know, once you let go of that idealistic future that you have imagined for yourself, you know, life can be a lot better and a lot sweeter once you're able to let go of those reins and be like, I'm not in control of my life. Like, there's only so much that I can do to like influence what I want my life to look like. And I give it to you, Lord. You will be my light and you will guide me. I have always been that type of person that, like, I have been very realistic, that like, I don't expect what I love to become influenced by money. But I am very realistic in the fact that, like, my father raised me up to be like, you will not be dependent on anybody. You will, if anything were to happen, you will be dependent on yourself. Because if push comes to shove, you gotta have your own back covered. So that's where I am right now in those aspects. So, you know, and that's something that I thank the Lord that, like, my dad taught me really early on, because as soon as I got out of like high school, I didn't have to ask my parents for any money. I covered my own back for as long as I can remember, you know.
Pues a veces es como que toca, como que no hay otra opción.
You really don't.
Porque we don't come from rich backgrounds.
Aquí, not at all.
Aquí trabajas o no comes. Y no tenés dónde vivir.
Yeah, so that's where I am right now.
Nice. It's funny that we talk about that, right? Porque we're going to talk about, you know, I'll give you my little update, and I'll start off with this this question that I posed or that I sent to my closest friends, and then I sent it based on the responses that I got with my friends. Then I put it on Instagram because I was like, if my friends answer like this, I want to know what other people think. And so me ha pasado bastante my For You page and TikTok. I don't know what TikTok is trying to tell me. But a lot of this like soft girl era, like I'm in my soft girl era, and then these are a bunch of girls. Pero la cosa era que cada video era diferente. Una era como que I'm in my soft girl era y luego tenían un montón de flores, con vestidos, con like, flower field, all these
very
things.
Girly.
Very, very girly. Y otras eran como que I'm in my soft girl era, como que like listening to music, going to a spa, doing your nails, doing your hair. Y otras era como que like más like mentality, like I'm in my soft girl era, I'm allowing I'm being more vulnerable, I'm going to therapy,
I'm more soft-spoken, I'm more gentle, like, I'm more like
cosas interiores.
Entonces
I was like, what is this soft girl era me? Like, no entiendo, because how we have been raised and where we come from,
it's very tough.
It's very tough. It's either like you need to have it, porque nosotros, for me, I was raised with single women, my mom and my sister. They both raised me, and they are very much like, man was never there. And si un día estaba, bueno, pero el siguiente día ya no estuvo, and guess what? We still had kids to take care of. You gotta man up.
And life goes on.
So,
whether
¿qué vas a hacer?
No.
¿Vas a llorar todo el tiempo y te vas a quedar ahí? Or you're going to do what you got to do. Like, push your feelings aside and continue to do what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was raised. And I told this to one of my friends, my only option has only been to be tough.
Yeah.
There was never an option to be soft. There was never an option. What? I have kids here. Sorry. My like kid. I don't know what's going on back there. But I had never been nunca había una opción to be taken care of, to be soft spoken, to like somebody's gonna defend me, somebody's gonna take care of me. Like, I've been working since I was 14, and kind of had to deal with. Some of it was my fault because it was consequences of my decisions.
Consequences of your actions.
Yeah, and I get it. But then there was other things that were just like really like put in me to where like, no, we don't cry. And then también, I just never been soft because I was soft in one time, and not because I chose to be, but because life was really hard in that moment, and I was trying to figure it out. I was 14, it was 13, like 15.
A coping mechanism for you to be like, nah, this is not about to like affect me. Like, I need to like
exactly up. Because during those ages from 13 to 15, I went through depression where I wanted to end my own life.
And those are very like moldable. Is that how you say it? Moldable. What is going on today?
¿Qué?
Moldeable. Un tiempo bien moldeable.
Yes, okay? Exactly. Yeah. So then for me, it's like if I'm ever vulnerable or if I ever let me feel my feelings, then again, back to the 0 to 100, I'm going to go from being okay to being to that point, and I don't want to ever go back to that.
Yeah.
So era como que algo super raro. Obviamente, I've been married for a long time. I've been married for 12 years now. And for 12 years, I've always had a partner who together we get through life, who if we go through hard times together, we figure it out, things like that. Pero he's always been embedded in me like, no, you have to toughen up all the time. Like, you need to work because who's going to take care of you? You better not depend on a man type of mentality. And so I'm starting to realize like, dang, that's tiring. I know I'm not gonna quit my job. Don't get it twisted. I'm not gonna do any of that. But I'm like,
I think it's also because you've always been, the life that you grew up living has always been a little bit hardcore. I do think that during that time you were always on, ready for anything that really came your way, whether it be good or bad. Most of the time bad. You always felt like you had to be on to like be on for like an attack, a fight, or even for things to go wrong. That now that you're in a position when things are good, you're still not all of the time, but
I'm
like
what?
as in like you're blessed with the family, you're blessed with the house, you're blessed with good health, as good as it can be.
That's a whole different
that's a whole different conversation. But you don't always have to be on now, ready for the other shoe to fall. Like everything's going good, so is something bad around the corner? Am I waiting for something? Like why am I so, I guess, like on the defense?
Yeah, not even that. I feel like, honestly, again, it's going back to like what is hindering my relationship with God, right? I felt like me being tough all the time, or me having to do that, it was como que like diciéndole a Dios like yes, you love me, but I don't know how much. Maybe you don't love me as much. Like doubting his love for me, as in for like I wouldn't even trust him. You know what I mean? Like it was so like I don't trust anybody. I don't trust my friends with my heart. A lot of my friends, they will know I normally ever probably say I love you.
I think you told me this one time. You were like, different friends know different things, and that's how they'll keep it. And I was like, how dare you, ma'am? How many years have I been your friend? I've literally, when I tell you, I've been their third wheel, like their forever. Extra side child for like, I don't even know how many years. I have seen every other type of argument that they've had, literally with no escape, stuck in the car, and they're just going at it, and I'm just sitting like, you guys, let's not fight. Like, and then Melissa would be like, shut up. And then Oscar would be like, right, Emily, I'm right? Dile a Melissa que no sé qué. I'll be like, oh my God, no.
He always tries to put you on his side.
I'm always like, being stuck, well, for as long as I've known you, being stuck in the middle. Maybe not so much anymore, but like I'm still learning new things about you. I'm still learning. I'm still finding out new things.
Yeah, because again, I'm very private when it comes to reserved. Anything. I'm very reserved, and that is because I'm always at like protection mode when it comes to my heart. And but one of my friends told me like, okay, well, Melissa, like loving people is a risk.
Yeah.
And are you willing to take it? And so I really like put that in mind. Like I was like, okay, well, yeah, loving people is a risk, and I do carry a risk of like them betraying me or hurting me or using my love against me, taking advantage of me, whatever the case may be. But it's like at this point, it's like, am I okay with if that happens?
Yeah.
Would I say I regret giving you my love because you did XYZ? And so at this point, I'm like, no, I shouldn't regret it, and I don't want to regret offering my love, because that's me. I'm only responsible for me.
For you and your actions.
Like
it's not your fault if they decided to like screw you over.
It's not my fault. Eso ya no me define a mí. Ya no tengo control yo de eso. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try, porque it's like, it's something completely new for me. Quizás está allí.
Yeah.
Porque I don't think maybe the manufacturer viene así. I don't know. Pero I'm like, okay, I'm going to try my best to not be a la defensiva, not be so ready como de sentirme atacada de cositas que me dicen o en el tono de que la gente me habla o lo que sea. And I'm going to try to love without having the fear of like, I'm going to be hurt at the end. So we're trying something out here.
I think it's...
I mean, it's still... Yo le digo a Oscar, mira, I'm still, by default, I'll choose toughness and roughness. Yeah. And by
because
default,
that's
I'm
an impulse. Like, you're already wired to respond and act that way.
But I'm going to try to, like, not callarme o reservarme o tampoco así,
more like
pero be
open.
Like more soft to things, like actually showing my love to people, like, yes, I can speak truth, because I think that that's one of the things that también my friends come to me for, is like whenever they want advice, they'll know that I'll give it to them for real.
Give it to me straight.
Yeah, like it's never like sugarcoating it, but maybe not sugarcoating, but probably like choosing my words a little bit to be softer. I can tell you, hey, stop being a punk, without telling it to you in those words, So we'll see how it goes, but that's like my major thing right now, that I'm trying my absolute best to be in touch with more of my feminine side, because at the end of the day, I am a female, and I feel like I'm designed by God like como una mujer. Entonces how I want to be soft and gentle and Proverbs 31 type of woman, even though she had a lot of work. I was reading that Proverbs 31 and I'm like, hold up, she did a lot of things in one day.
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. That's my major update también. Obviously we had some I've been requesting things from God as far as in like, sé qué es lo que quería hacer, and fue como un poquito la fuerza de este thing, but I think que si no hubiera sido así, I probably would have been still like, should I keep going, should I not, should I keep going, should I not? So I'm happy I was able to take a break of posting anything and worried about content and actually like live my life and go have fun and enjoy the summer with my kid, with my friends. So it's been good over here. I feel like still struggling with some stuff. It's gonna get real. Well, it's already been real for a month and a half with me as far as in like my health goes. I'm not really bad, but I was on some medication. I think I've talked about this before. Yeah. I was on some medication and I'm off of it. I've been off of it for a month and a half. So me toca a me to like see what I do, or like, are we gonna get healthier, or are you gonna like fall back into your unhealthiness? And so it's more being like learning how to be disciplined in some areas donde importa.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's our update.
That's our little life updates. That's our light tap updates. As far as in the podcast, we'll still have our favorite song of the day when it comes to episodes, but we're bringing back también our Reddit stories.
Yes,
our Reddit stories. We're so excited. So Emily,
yes,
you have one, right?
I do.
So obviously, the name of this subreddit, or the name of this part of the podcast, is "Am I the Asshole?" But you know, some people are kind of sensitive to that word, which we'll respect completely. To us, it's not really big of a deal, but I know to some people it is. So we are going to not say that word. That was the only time and the last time that we'll say it. But we'll say it more like, am I the jerk? Or am I wrong in this? We'll rephrase it. But if you're looking for the subreddit on Reddit,
this is the subreddit.
That's the name of it, okay?
Okay. This one says, am I the jerk for letting my brother-in-law, who lived, quote unquote, in Peru, learn the hard way about my llamas?
Okay. First of all, what?
So obviously, everybody knows that the llamas are the ones that like, they look like sheep, but they got this big long neck, right?
Que no según que cuando se enojan que they spit on them.
They can be a little aggressive, right? Well, most people know that. Just a little bit.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I hate animals. Sorry. PETA, don't come after me.
Look, but they always say, you don't bother animals, they won't bother you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, we can coexist because God made you. All right, you, God's creation. Fine, cool. But you stay over there, and I'm going to stay over there. I don't mess with you, you don't mess with me. Fine.
That's what you would think, right? Yeah. Okay. But
am I the jerk for what?
It says, am I the jerk for letting my brother-in-law, who quote unquote lived in Peru, so you know there's llamas in Peru, learn the hard way about my llamas? So he probably went to Peru, lived there for vacation for like a month or two, and be like, I'm an expert now. And then the brother-in-law's like, all right, you can come visit me and my llamas, and
we'll see how you do.
We'll see how you do. Or like, if something happens, that's on you. Say you were an expert. All right, dale.
My default response would be no, porque I think que la gente tiene que aprender by experiencing things. Y si, you know, people can say warning, warning, pero si no quieres escuchar, bueno, te va a ir como te va. But my soft side of me says you should have warned your brother-in-law maybe a little bit more and had patience and something.
Ay, mírenla, she's so soft.
I told you guys that I'm trying.
Let's find out. Let's see if your answer changes. Okay.
I had two. My default and my softie.
Let's see if your default changes.
That's the main one that I'm
that's the main one. Okay, let's see. It says, my brother-in-law spends a summer in Peru with his parents when he was a teen. So like, a month or two, I don't know why, but this has become his personality. Fun. I had a fun cocktail party at my apartment when I lived in the city. My sister brought him as they had just begun dating. He spent most of the time complaining that my pisco sours weren't very authentic, and he has much better ones in Peru. When we went out a couple years later and ate at a little restaurant downtown that had tasty ceviche. Nope, it was done all wrong. You get the idea. Well, we all grew up and I married a guy who owns a small bit of land outside of my hometown. We have a bit of an animal rescue and I love it. There's only one pube in the pie. Okay, that's a weird saying. I've never heard that saying before.
Heard that saying. That's disgusting, but okay.
Larry and Darnell. They're llamas. They are ill-tempered jerks. I still love them, but I have grown to understand their moods. They don't have BLS, but it seems close to it sometimes. No idea what that is.
Exactly.
But the worst thing is that they spit a lot and accurately. My sister's family is spending 2 weeks with us this summer to get the kids out of the city and so the cousins can spend time together. I gave everyone the same warning. Keep away from the llamas. They aren't friendly.
Okay. Ahí va my softie.
Everybody got the warning. My brother-in-law knew better because he had lived in Peru and used them as pack animals. Well, he is currently in the bathroom washing out his mouth for the last 15 minutes. He went right over to the llamas to show the kids they weren't dangerous. And he got a double barrel of llama phlegm right in his mouth and his eye.
Ew, qué asco.
He called me a jerk for not telling him that my llamas spit. All llamas spit. Anyone who lived in Peru and used them as pack beasts would know this.
Yo que no vivo en Peru, que nunca he ido a Peru,
like, come on now.
Eso, come
exactly. I found out from my sister just now that he went to a touristy golf course that has llamas as carriers for the golf clubs. He didn't even go on a long hike with them. Would I be the jerk for not being more explicit in my warning?
No.
So your default
my
and
default
your
was correct.
So they're both
they're both correct. That's true. They're both correct.
Okay. So
what do you think?
He okay.
Who?
The brother-in-law played it out to be like, oh, I went to Peru, I went backpacking, I went mountain climbing, and I used the llamas as my pack animals. That's what he made it seem like. This dude went to a resort. A golf resort, and the llamas literally carried around their their golfing what's it called? Clubs. Yeah, I'm not knowledgeable on that. I'm sorry.
Me either, pero
yeah. So like, come on now. You use animals that were known to be like out in the wild. You use them as literally accessories. You can't be like, oh, I'm an expert. Like, oh, I know. Look, they're not dangerous. Like, no, those are domesticated llamas. They're not the same thing. This is like an animal rescue that she has in her little
These are
farm.
These are wild llamas.
So I'm sorry if you think that that's literally the same animal, because it's not.
No, I think it's super funny. I think it is so funny cuando la gente te dicen un warning y no haces caso.
Sometimes you just gotta learn through experience.
Y luego te pasa algo semi malo, because I'm trying to be soft here. Te pasa algo semi malo, and then it's like really funny because it's like, dude, te dije because I care about you. Te dije porque no quería que te lastimaras, no quería que te pasara algo malo, pero vos no entendés. Así que, dale.
You don't want to listen to me? Okay, you gonna learn through experience.
Yeah.
So we had two people. Well, we had one person that said, not the asshole, sounds like your brother-in-law is a drama llama. There's I was telling you earlier, I didn't read you the story, but I did give you the title, right? So you get an idea.
Yeah.
And there's this book, a children's book that I sometimes read, the kids I nanny to sleep, especially the baby, and the book is called Llama Llama Red Pajama. And in the book, he's like getting put to bed, and the mom goes downstairs to wash dishes, answer the phone, whatever. And the baby llama is like, I'm not sleepy. I want you to come back. I'm thirsty. All the little cues that kids give to fight their sleep.
Yeah.
So he's like, it starts getting dark. I don't see my mama. I'm scared. Mama llama, come get me, rescue me. And the mom starts freaking out, thinking that the llama is hurt. So she drops everything, drops out the plates, drops the phones, and she starts running upstairs. And she's like, llama, are you okay? And then she realizes he's just being a little drama queen, a little drama llama. So she's like, llama, please stop all this llama drama and be patient for your mama. And the kid is always the baby that I take care of. He's always like, no llama drama. I'm like, that's right. Don't you be a llama drama. Like, no. Yeah, so he likes to play out what the llama did on the book. So he does that a lot during bedtime, and he'll like put me down to sleep. I'll get out the room. He starts crying. He starts like talking to the camera. He's like, Mimi, I'm not sleepy. Like, come get me. And I'm just like, go to sleep, little kid.
Yeah.
And then I have to lay back down with him. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not coming back in. You are fine. You know I'm right here if you need me, but you need to go to sleep. And he will. And I think sometimes, just like the little kid, you know, he has to learn through experience, and not rely so much on what you think.
Especialmente cuando realmente no tienes mucha experiencia. Like, let's be honest, just because you went to Peru one time and you went to a resort no significa que sabes todo de Perú, por favor.
Yeah, exactly.
Solamente como que si hubieras vivido ahí por años, okay, pues te entiendo, pero...
Yeah, sometimes life experience is better than like an idealistic experience.
Exactamente. All right, we're gonna move on. And we're gonna go to our favorite song of the week, and this is how we're going to finish it. So, vamos a ver. ¿Tú tienes la tuya lista? ¿O
yes.
No? Espérate que yo tengo una, pero necesito saber.
You took mine.
No, I didn't. You're playing
Oh, no, that's another one. I am?
I'm like, what are you doing?
I was like, am I playing it? Yeah. I thought I turned it off. Never mind. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are. Clearly. You ready, Mia?
No. Okay. I'm falling apart. Okay. ¿Estás lista o estoy yo?
Go.
Yo primero. Okay. Yeah. Esta se llama Hermoso Momento by Kaido Worship. Si estás en TikTok, si estás en Instagram, has escuchado esta canción o esta parte y me gusta.
Oh. I like it.
Love it.
Okay, this is mine. It's called Praises by Elevation.
Love it.
I love that.
It's different now. All right, you guys. So this was us coming back to the podcast. We're so excited to start off this new journey with you guys. And vamos a ver qué pasa. Le vamos a dar con todo. Y nos vemos en la próxima episode.
See you next time.
Bye.